Most people try harder to manifest, and that is the exact reason why nothing materializes for them. They try to do more techniques, they try to put in more physical effort, they try to do everything externally without failing to realize that they created everything in their life. If you want to truly take this information and utilize it to your best advantage, you have to see these perspective shifts in the aspect of it changing something internally, no external circumstance. So the first thing I want to talk about in today's lesson is do not be a tryhard. More effort does not equal more results. Now, if you go back maybe a few videos, I don't know, but in the video, I was pretty much going over the fact that it's a limiting belief that's been programmed within us from school, society, even parents, like us growing up. We even movies and just societal programming, bro. We've grown up seeing and being taught that the more physical effort, the more we exert ourselves, this equates to living a better life. But you can see this shit right now, real time in today's society. Bro, janitors, construction workers, teachers get paid jack shit. They do not live the life that they truly want to live. Yeah, you can cope and say, oh, well, I get to provide for my family. I get to live a comfortable life, not the life I want to live. I get to live a comfortable life doing what I need to do. Bro, you don't have to live life like that, bro. Understand that shit. There's millions, billions of people living a life that you want to live by doing less work than you do. Understand that shit, bro, and really conceptualize that shit. So if anything that you take away from this video, understand this shit. More effort does not equal more results. Now, this stems from subconscious impressment from events in your life that you equated to working hard equals getting XYZ result. But you have to remove that subconscious limiting belief. Now, trying is a state of lack, implying you don't have something. Watch the words you say that imply that you don't have your desired reality. Like, I hope, I believe, if it's meant to be, etc. These keep you separated from your desired reality. Anytime that you have conversations with somebody else, or you have internal conversations and you talk about your desired reality, or you talk about your desires from the perspective of, I hope that this happens. I wish that this happens. If God wants me to experience this thing, it'll happen for me. No, gang. No, gang. You are a multidimensional being. You're a little alien, bro. You're a fucking demigod on this shit. So whatever you say goes, right? If I'm speaking from the perspective of yeah, I hope this happens, or I wish this happens, I have zero conviction within myself to actually make that shit happen. Whether or not I put in hella work or if I put in a little amount of work, that is automatically signaling to God, to the universe, that you don't currently have this thing in the present moment. So now I'm gonna teach you a little bit something about time, bro. So in this third dimension, time is linear, right? But your mind and your consciousness is in the 4D, bro, like the fourth dimension. So since your mind and your consciousness and imagination and subconscious is in the fourth dimension, it's not limited by time and space, right? So this is why you can experience deja vu. This is why you can go visualize internally in meditation or laying down or some shit. You can visualize you going to go do a specific action and you go carry out that action. Like, really think about this shit, bro. Before you go do any type of physical action, you first visualize yourself doing that action, bro. Really internalize that, dude. You're not just going to go get up and go do some random shit like, oh, I want to go do something. Then as you're walking, you go figure out what the fuck you're going to go do. It don't work like that, bro. You first figure out what you want to go accomplish, then you go accomplish that shit. It's just a threshold between you going to accomplish this physical action versus another physical action. The limiting barrier between your ability to actually conceptualize or you actually being able to achieve that goal or that action or to complete that action is the belief of yourself actually going to go complete the action. Understand that shit. That's the only thing that's holding you back. So if I got up, right, and let's say I desire to make X, Y, and Z amount of money. If I'm a multi-millionaire and I told myself, I'm going to make $100 today, I'm going to get my ass up and go make $100 because I'm a fucking multi-millionaire. I make that shit 100x every fucking month. $100 isn't jack shit. But if I told a nigga on food stamps, yeah, I'm going to go make $100. This nigga has not seen $100 in like fucking millenniums. If he told his ass, if he told himself, yeah, I'm going to go make $100 right now, do you think he's actually going to go make $100? Do you think he's going to have the self-confidence or the self-belief to go carry out that action to go get $100, even though he hasn't seen that amount of money in ages? Really think about that shit, bro. So if you shifted how you speak to yourself in the light of, oh, I already have $100, I already make 10K plus a month. If you told a homeless person that, do you think they're really going to believe that shit? No. But if you told a millionaire that shit, do you think he's really going to believe that shit? Hell yeah, he's going to believe that shit. What the fuck? So all this shit boils down to self-belief. And this is why in the beginning of the video, I said, if there's anything that you take away from this video specifically, internalize this shit, bro. More effort does not equal more results. If there's anything that you really conceptualize, bro, is that your internal beliefs is what holds you back from actually experiencing the reality. There's nothing different between the multi-millionaire and the homeless dude. The only thing that's different is their internal programming. So if your internal programming, which creates your frequency, that frequency gets projected to the universe, to reality, telling it who you are. It's like if I walked into this high security ass building and they have biometrics to scan my eyeballs and motherfucking fingerprints and shit. If my biometric doesn't match the internal coding of the fucking security system, I'm not going to get into the fucking building, bro. So reality is the same way. Your biometric signature is your frequency. If I project my biometric signature to reality, letting it know I'm a multi-millionaire, even though my reality doesn't reflect that shit right now, it's going to let me in the motherfucking building. Because that's my biometric signature right now in the fucking present moment, even though I don't have physical proof of that shit. Understand that, gang? So it's all boiled down to self-belief and frequency programming, bro. And if you want to program your frequency, you have to talk to yourself. You have to talk to reality. Not like this, bro. It has to be, I am, I did, I already did, I'm experiencing, I'm grateful that this stuff is happening. You have to talk to yourself as if it was already happening in the present moment. Understand that shit. Because, bro, look, we only exist in the present moment right now, bro. There's no such thing as the past or the future, gang. We only have the present moment. And like I said earlier, time is a third dimensional illusionary concept. To this third dimension, time is linear. But again, your mind isn't confined by that shit. Your subconscious isn't confined by that shit. And reality reads your subconscious programming, no matter what physical action you do. So I can literally shift an identity. I can shift who I am right now in the present moment. And to reality's eyes, I'm a completely different person until I decide that I'm not that person anymore. Understand that shit. Understand that shit. So effort creates tension. Tension creates resistance. Resistance creates a time delay. The harder you try, the slower reality moves. So most manifestations happen when you stop trying, right? Oftentimes, and if you've manifested stuff in your life, you can account to this. Oftentimes when you begin to manifest some shit, it always comes to you when you are not looking for that shit. You'll be like, damn, like I sure did want to manifest this shit. Now look, I'm actually living the life where this is just normal, right? It feels normal, as if it was supposed to be there, right? Understand that shit. When you manifest from the position of like, damn, I want this shit. I keep seeing this everywhere, but other people have it. I always see it from the perspective of somebody else having this shit, but not me. Why is that? It's because not only are you aware of the fact that you don't have this shit right now in the present moment, but you're also aware of the fact that you want this thing. When you see that shit and you're like, damn, like I really got that shit. Like that's really me. and just leave it like that, bro. And declare that shit to be happening right now, bro. Because understand this shit. Manifestations are instant. When you decide and declare or assume the law of assumption, when you assume that this thing is already in your reality, when you don't have physical proof, it has materialized at that moment in time, bro. Look at the word manifestation, bro. You are manifesting something. Manifestation is a gradual process of you materializing this thing in your reality, bro. Understand that shit. It's not some instantaneous thing. It's not some fucking cheat code or hack so you don't have to do work to get something that requires work. I'm not trying to teach y'all niggas to be lazy bones. Understand that shit. You still have to put in work. You still have to put in physical effort, bro. Because you have to be in alignment on a spiritual, mental, and physical plane. If you're in alignment on the spiritual and mental plane, but not the physical, you can't manifest it. If me saying work or effort internally makes you queasy or it makes you cringe, then I just exposed you, bro. You have a limiting belief internally where when you hear work or effort, it's something that is hella hard, or you have to require all of this physical energy. No, bro. When you're in alignment, this shit feels easy and it feels obvious and it feels boring because you know you have to do it in order to materialize this thing. Not because you have to do it, but because you know you have to do it in order to materialize this thing. Those are two completely different perspective shifts, bro, to be doing work from. If I know this thing is going to happen simply by me doing this action, me doing the action is a no-brainer. Like, I'm gonna just do that shit because I know I have to do that shit. Not because I have to do it. Not because I need to do this, even though I want to go against my internal triggers telling me I don't have to do this thing so fucking much. But simply because this dude on this, or this woman on this YouTube video told me I have to write this thing down 100 plus times, that means I have to do it. No, gang. You only have to write shit down once. If you scripting this shit, you only got to write that shit down once, bro, and leave that shit the fuck alone. Manifestations are instant. Internalize that shit. Manifestation, if you look at the word, bro, is a gradual process. It's not instantaneous. You can't just fucking spawn shit like me in Gmod or motherfucker, you got a mommy with GTA or some shit. You can't do that, gang. It's a gradual process. Now, when I say just let it happen, bro, you have to just sit back and enjoy the process. Obviously, you need to be in alignment on the mental, spiritual, and physical plane. If you try to manifest without being in alignment on these 3 levels of existence, you will not manifest that shit. So if I'm seeing it from the perspective of like, okay, if I'm digesting all this information and I know my identity is in alignment with this version of myself, but I refuse to take action because somebody told me you don't have to do work to materialize something. If somebody told you that shit, that you don't have to do any type of work, they're a dumbass. You're going to have to do some physical thing, bro. Whether it be talking to this person, whether it be going to this place, whether it be putting this fucking plant on the fucking counter or some shit, nigga, you have to do something. There is physical action required in the process to get what you want. Now, your perspective on the work being hard is up to you, bro. The reps that is required for you to bring this thing to you, bro, is up to you. Understand that shit. You make the rules, but there is some form of physical effort being put into the materialization, being put into the process. Understand that shit. So manifestation happens when you shift into the identity of somebody who allows, right? When you allow things to come to you, when you are in a state of receiving, not grind mode, not monk mode, not any fucking mode, bro. When you just do what you know you need to do to get where you need to go, and you just allow things to come to you. When you just exist in the present moment and enjoy the process, things come to you so much easier, bro. Now, allowing does not mean passivity. Allowing means you stop forcing outcomes. You stop chasing security and validation. You stop trying to prove it's working. Understand that shit. When you seek validation, when you seek external validation and security, what do you think you're projecting to the mirror of reality, bro? You're projecting insecurity and lack, and you're only going to get that reflected back to you, bro. All this shit is literally manifesting shit that is unseen in your mind. Think about that shit. The Wright brothers, for example. These niggas told everybody, yeah, bro, we're gonna fucking fly. Nigga, do it look like I got wings? Nigga, no. The fuck? If his ass was like, yo, bro, we gonna be flying in like a year or two, I'ma think that nigga's crazy and a dumbass. I'ma think he cracked out or some shit. I'll be like, yo, bro, you're a fucking dumbass. You're almost said the R word. I don't know if I can say that shit, nigga. My shit may get taken down. But yeah, bro, you're restarted, my nigga. If I told his ass that and he went to go and I seen this nigga in the air like 2 years later, I'm gonna be like, yo, what the fuck? How you do that shit, gang? And that's how everybody gonna be when you start materializing shit, bro. When you start walking through this bitch like a god. But I'm gonna be like, yo, bro, how you do that shit, gang? And he gonna be like, he gonna show me all the schematics and shit. Bro, how did he know how to build this shit? Exactly. He didn't. But he already knew that he was gonna go fucking fly. He had the desire. He had conviction in self to go complete that desire. And he did that shit. Now look, he's a part of fucking history. All manifestation is, bro, is taking the unseen, the stuff that you got in the kingdom of heaven, and materializing that shit on this third dimensional plane so you can actually experience that shit, bro. Understand that. It's the process, not the actual materialization. Because once you get your desire, you're going to want more things. Understand that. If you see this level of success above you, you will never be able to obtain that shit. You have to see it on the same level or lower than you, bro. Because again, you're going to want more shit. So if reality is looking at me right now, analyzing my badges and player build, and reality see my ass right now, wanting this thing, I'm not in a state of allowing it to come to me. If I'm desiring it, I'm only going to get replicated the perspective in the identity of somebody who wants this thing. I'm never going to be able to receive the path to experience that reality until I see it actually happening now in the present moment. Now I can ground myself and be like, okay, I need to do X, Y, and Z. I need to figure this out. I need to figure that out. And you start piecing that shit together step by step, bro. But you have to be in the fucking present moment to create reality, because reality is only being created from what? The fucking present moment, nigga. You, bro, you don't exist in the fucking future. You don't exist in the fucking past. Only your consciousness is able to perceive it, gang. Your physical body only experiences the present fucking moment. But what has the ability to fucking supersede this shit? Nigga, your consciousness, your mind, your identity, your self-belief, your self-image. If I could see myself as somebody who's doing what I want to do right now in the present moment, it makes it a million times easier to do that shit, bro. But you have to be in a state of receiving the path instead of projecting desire and lack and insecurity to the fucking mirror of reality. Understand that shit. So Matthew chapter 24, verse 43. But know this, that if the master of the house had known in what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not have let his house be broken into. Now, when all y'all niggas be talking about and hearing about old frequencies and my old frequency cooked me, I went back into my old frequency, nigga, that's the thief. Understand that shit, gang. Your identity is you / the master, bro. And your house is your desired reality in your mind. Now, in the verse, when he was talking about the master of the home, if he had stayed awake, the thief wouldn't have gotten into his shit. If your consciousness was still on the fact that you are this new identity, you would not let the old frequency get into your new reality, bro, your kingdom of heaven. So if I have a physical circumstance facing me right now, and it's a manifestation of my old frequency, as soon as I start seeing truth in that thing and I start identifying with it, I let the old frequency break into my shit, bro. I let it destroy my kingdom of heaven. Understand that. When you look at physical proof, when you look at your 3D circumstances and you deny it and you say, this is not me anymore, I am not that, you now regain your control and power over reality. You have to understand, bro. These 3D circumstances that you don't wish to experience, you created that thing. So if it's currently facing you now, it's nothing you can fucking do besides choose something differently, bro. You're a different person every single second that passes by. So you have the ability and the option to become somebody different. These 3D circumstances don't define you, bro. They don't define you. You define the circumstance. Everything from your perspective that you can view and feel and touch and see and talk to and interact with, nigga, you created that thing because it's a mental projection. And simply because you're the observer of this reality, you get to pick and choose what you identify with. So if you want your old frequency to stop taking your cookies in the night, bro, you have to really internalize that your new identity needs to be on you like a jacket that you don't fucking take off. Like, nigga, go to sleep with that shit, bro. Go in the shower with that shit. Do not take that fucking jacket off or you're going to get cooked. So this is the last thing I'm going to talk about before I get into the applicable steps y'all can take to actually start embodying what the fuck I'm saying. So with all that being said, bro, why silence is a cheat code, bro. This is a cheat code. The whys are the same in pleasure and in pain. This is from the Bhagavad Gita. Shout out to all my Hindu niggas. When nothing can get you off center, when nothing can move you, you become a walking motherfucking demigod on this shit, bro. You become a god on this shit because nothing can fuck with you. Think about that. Like, really think about that, bro. If I'm somebody, no matter what is currently facing me, if it doesn't emotionally put me off center, how powerful am I truly am? No matter what is happening, bro. I can have the worst circumstance right in front of me. But if I know for a fact I can get myself out of the situation and it's only something in front of me so I can become a better version of myself, it really can't fuck with me, bro. The only fear that you get from these circumstances is the fear that you put onto yourself. The limitations that you put onto yourself. The insecurity and scarcity that you put onto yourself. All of this stuff, bro, is self-imposed. Understand that shit. Like, when niggas say writer's block, that shit don't exist. That's like self-diagnosing yourself with like some mental disorder or some shit, bro. You can't do that. You have to go to the doctor. Bro, you're not a fucking doctor. You don't have a PhD. Some of you niggas may have a PhD, but nigga, I got a PhD in reality creation, bro. Come tap in. So silence communicates external conviction and your internal conviction creates reality, right? When you give no emotional reaction to any physical circumstance that's currently facing you, reality gonna be looking at you like, damn, like, I can't get this nigga no more. The devil gonna be like, damn, I can't get this nigga no more. And you're good. When you place all of your energy and attention onto yourself and you know that simply because you are observing this reality internally, simply because you are putting in the physical reps, you're going to get that reality. It's just a matter of time, right? And when you embody that identity day by day by day, you only get that fucking reality, bro. Because it's you at your deepest core. When you wake up, that's who you're going to be playing as, bro. That's your character on this third dimensional realm. You're just the observer of this avatar. Understand that shit. Nigga, go watch Avatar, bro. These niggas was literally placing their consciousness into these fucking aliens, nigga, and completing missions. You think that shit was just some fictional fucking movie? No, nigga, no. Bro, it's niggas actually doing that shit IRL, but nobody's ever gonna say that shit. My shit may get taken down, but it's actually niggas transferring their consciousness into these bodies and shit. But you can do that with yourself. You can literally hypnotize and place any personality, any identity into yourself, bro, to get what you want. It's self-manipulation. Understand that. It's self-alchemization. You're turning lead into gold. You're refining yourself. Understand that shit. And when you stop giving your emotional reactions, like I said, nothing externally can fucking phase you. So think of this shit like you playing a game of poker, right? So if the dealer gives me a crazy ass hand and I'm looking at my hand like, bro, I'm about to win all this fucking money. Nigga, everybody at the table gonna be like, yeah, we need to hold that nigga, bro. We need to make sure that nigga don't win. What do you think is happening when you expose your plans to your friends, to your family, to your coworkers and shit? You looking at your hand right now, telling them all the good shit that's gonna happen to you, and they looking at your ass like them entities and shit around them looking at your ass like, yeah, we got them. Yeah, we got them. And they gonna fuck your shit up, bro. They gonna make your shit never happens, bro. When you expose your plan, bro, and you need external validation. You need people outside of yourself in which you created, but you need people outside of yourself and your own mental projection to validate what you want to do internally. That shit never gonna fucking happen, bro. I'm gonna keep it a stack. You need to not say any fucking thing about what you want to materialize, bro. Keep that shit a secret. Why do you think the movie The Secret was called The Secret? You think the law of attraction was the fucking secret? Nigga, no. Your kingdom of heaven is the fucking secret. Nigga, nobody can see this shit. Only you can see this shit. Only you can see your identity. You know who you are at your deepest core. Whatever is in the darkness will be brought to the fucking light. Understand that shit, gang. So if you made it this far, congratulations. I'm about to tell you how you can integrate this into your life so nothing can get in your way and you can actually become unfuckwittable, bro. You can get everything that you've been wanting, everything that you think is going to give you a better life. You can obtain this shit with this stuff right here. So let's get into it, bro. Number one, start embodying expectation. Trying means you don't have. Expectation means this is normal. When you normalize your desires and your reality, it becomes so much easier to obtain. Think about this, bro. If my frequency is not on the same level as my desires, right? I'm never going to be able to attract that reality to me or attract that reality to me, right? But I literally raise my frequency, or I bring the frequency of what I want down to my level by simply making that shit normal and expecting myself to experience that reality. Understand that shit. When you desire things or you want things, you're automatically placing that thing above you, bro. But when you expect it and you normalize it, you place it on the same level as you. You're on the same exact playing field as that thing. You can literally just walk into that reality, bro. It's that simple. Number two, stop checking for proof. Checking seems harmless, but you are unknowingly setting yourself backwards. Anytime you check for proof, or you look for validation, or you think this, or you check to see if this thing is working, or your numbers are going up, or your bank account increased, you're right now, real time, bro, in the present moment, stepping into the identity that seeks validation, that is insecure of the current circumstances, and is not the identity of the person who would experience your desired reality. The whole goal is, bro, is to not care and to not look to your current 3D circumstances in which you do not wish to experience, and only keep your mind on the reality that you do want to experience and see that reality happening now. That is point blank period what you need to do in terms of your outlook on life. Now, last but not least, number three, do less physically, not mentally. Less mental narration, less analysis, less emotional involvement. Make it mentally obvious for it to happen, regardless of what you do. You are the entire show, bro. You're the whole fucking show. Imagine your life as like a movie or a fucking sitcom or some shit, and you're the main character. Nigga, the camera's on your ass 24/7. Your consciousness is the camera watching the movie of you, bro. Understand that shit. Whatever the fuck your name is, you're currently observing the movie of whatever your name is of your fucking physical avatar. You're not your physical avatar, bro. You're the observer of this avatar. Understand that shit. Make it a law that simply because I put in actions, it's only making me even more aligned to the version of myself that would experience my desired reality. And that shit will manifest, bro. Because you're the entire fucking show. You're everything around you. You're not separate from anything, bro. Even though from your perspective, it may look like you're separate from the things around you, but you're interlinked with every person you come across, with everything you interact with. It's an extension and manifestation of the reality of you, bro. So you get to make the rules and you get to do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, why would you fucking spawn on this earth being limited in what you can experience? There would be no fucking point to live, bro. Think about that. If I was a multi-dimensional being and I spawned on this bitch with the intent to be limited by 3D circumstances and I couldn't do what the fuck I wanted to do, why the fuck would I come here? Why the fuck would you come here if all you had to do was just pay bills and see negative fucking balances and be in debt 24/7? Why would you do that? There's obviously something deeper within this reality shit that you currently don't know, because there's niggas on fucking mega yachts, bro. There's niggas with yachts that cost more than some country's GD fucking P, bro. And you sitting here worried about fucking tax returns and not being able to pay for fucking groceries and shit. Do you think that's a natural way to live? Do you think water is supposed to cost money? So this society construct, this fucking matrix, should automatically tell you that there is something that's being withheld from you, bro. There's some form of information being withheld from you to experience what you want to experience. And nigga, this is the information. I'm telling you niggas the fucking information. All these multi-millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. And if you read Think and Grow Rich, it literally hints at all this shit, bro. Any self-help book hints at all this shit, bro. But I'm going more in depth. I'm teaching you niggas how to actually apply this shit. And when you apply this shit, bro, you become unfuckwittable, bro. Nothing can get in your way because you're literally creating everything in front of you. So all that being said, if you want a full breakdown on how to manifest, I created a 58-page free ebook where I clearly explain how to manifest. Link in description. Go tap into the ebook.